Welcome to the full moon meditation, immersing ourselves in sight. A story must be judged according to whether it makes sense. And making sense must be here understood in its most direct meaning. To make sense is to enliven the senses. A story that makes sense is one that stirs the senses from their slumber, one that opens the eyes and the ears to their real surroundings, tuning the tongue to the actual tastes in the air and sending chills of recognition along the surface of the skin. To make sense is to release the body from the constraints imposed by outworn ways of speaking, and hence to renew and rejuvenate one's felt awareness of the world. It is to make the senses wake up to where they are. David Abram. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this time together. And welcome to the home of the Full Moon Gatherings. It is my pleasure to offer this deeply immersive experience of community each full moon. My name is Abby, and I am one of the team at True Sisters. I really want to invite you into this sacred sanctuary of togetherness for the next hour as we honor the full moon in Libra, the pink moon. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we find ourselves surrounded by the sweet promise of new life and green shoots, whilst in the Southern Hemisphere, life is falling away, ready to venture into the dark time. And for this next hour, wherever we're joining from, we get to share time under the light of the full moon, to pause and to reflect together. And why do we do this? Why do we gather? These gatherings are really about making contact with ourselves, with each other, and all of life. They're about prioritizing a restoration of ecological intimacy. They're about valuing the self-organizing intelligence of the body and connecting with our sensate selves, remembering our elemental nature. So whatever your reason for being here, it's a really great reason and you're really welcome. And there is absolutely a seat in this circle for you. So the vision for Tree Sisters has always been to reinstate a culture of reciprocity, that we make it as normal to give back as it currently is to take. We more deeply embed ourselves in the whole. And so these calls are free if you need them to be, and they are also an invitation to give back. So I'd love to invite everyone here to give back to the trees. And if you're not already a monthly donor, to consider signing up to become a monthly donor. And this month, we're starting a new series of gatherings, slowing everything down and reconnecting to our senses. The way in which we access and experience the world. And the intention with this series is that we find an ever deepening experience of our own belonging. We will endeavor to do this by slowing down each moment of experience, inviting awareness back into the living landscape of the body. And we're beginning our 6-month journey today with a sense of sight. Before I share a little more about what will happen in the call, I'd love to hear from some of you why you've joined the call today, where you are in the world. If you'd like to come and just add your voice into the chat, it would be really lovely to see you, just to read your names and to hear where you are. Samantha here for solace. Julia, sunset time in Brighton. Welcome, Julia. Welcome, Lisa from Chattanooga. Welcome, Paul in Massachusetts. Margie in the New Mexico deserts. So we can already feel we're gathering from many places. Vivita from Malaysia, Judith in Yorkshire. Carolyn, good morning from New Zealand at 6 a.m. Chloe in the Netherlands. Joanne wanting to be grounded in kindred spirits. Moved up quickly there. Bethany, welcome Bethany. Corrine in the Netherlands. Lisa, Staffordshire. Cool, I love these green meditations. Great. Pangia, New York City, here for the community of caring. Kirsty from Surrey. Welcome, Kirsty. Karen, welcome from Costa Rica. Wow, we really are covering a large expanse of the globe. Wonderful. Rainbow, Blue Ridge Mountains, Southwest Virginia. Grateful to be here in this sacred space with everyone. It's really good to get a sense of who you are and where you are. And I'm going to just share a little bit more about what's going to happen. So in a moment, there'll be an invitation to settle into yourself and to find some comfort and safety for your body in the physical environment that you're in right now. And then we'll take a journey together. And at various points, I will give specific invitations for you to come and share what you're noticing in the chat box. And these will be invitations to share what's waking up through your body. And your participation here is really welcome in whatever way feels good for you and available to you today. If it does feel available, please do come and share in the chat. And if you're new to these calls, the sharings that you bring into the chat are woven to form our co-created community offering to the senses. And I want to invite you to take care of yourselves within this practice. If it feels more available to you to access the practice through your imagination, then this is perfect. You're welcome to move your body, to stay still, whatever supports you to really tune into the unique experience in your body. And please dance, sway, rest, roll, stretch, anything that feels good. So let's land in ourselves. Just remembering that we're arriving here in our whole, messy, beautiful and complex selves. And there isn't any need to be a particular way. However you are and whatever you're with is really, really welcome in this space. Just recognizing that sometimes as we enter our felt sense, we might come close to ourselves in a particular way, potentially touching into sensitive parts, vulnerability, tenderness, grief. It's all welcome. And if it feels too much or overwhelming, I want to invite you to find a way to just come back to noticing the contact that you have with the ground, or a place in your body that feels comfortable or neutral and that you can turn to as a place of resource. So just beginning in this moment by noticing your body right now, full, complex, vast, rich sensations, so much wisdom. And just allowing these sensations to be, offering yourself some validation for your own experience in this moment. And then bringing your attention to your heart, to your belly, and to your feet. Notice the place where your body is meeting the earth body, in this place of contact of bodies. Feel how the earth holds you towards her at all times. And having a sense of deepening this connection by growing your roots down into the earth, making deep intertwining, interweaving contact. Noticing the possibility that in this underground world, there's also the roots of the others gathered here in the circle today. And as you open your awareness to include the shared space of all of us, through this entanglement in our roots, include the even bigger loving us just as we are. And then gently bringing your attention back into yourself in this moment. Notice that you're breathing. Notice the movement of air in and out of your body. Feeling for where you might locate your center and also your edges. And gently moving awareness between the center of yourself and the edges, between above and below, earth and sky. Just taking a breath right here in this moment. So over the last few months, we've been immersing ourselves in the sensory and metaphorical life of this planet, with the trees, the clouds, the rocks, and the dirt of the forest floor. And for these next explorations, the invitation is to come closer to our immediate environments. Feeling how many of us now are in our homes or a similar environment somewhere that is enabling us to be in connection together. We're going to explore the spaces that we are each in, letting us come together like a forest, each of our own individual trees gathering into a forest of environments, creating our shared, diverse and amazing ecosystem. We're beginning by bringing your attention to your eyes. You might want to make contact with your eyes, maybe cupping your hands over them or massaging around your eye sockets. And just noticing your own preference to have your eyes open or closed, allowing any blinking or movements of the eyes to happen. And remember that any of these invitations can also just be imagined. And then just exploring with some different ways of looking very directly out of your eyes, using some effort, bringing kind of narrow and specific focus. Just notice how that feels to experience. And then taking a breath and letting that go. And really intentionally softening your eyes. Letting the eyes sink back a little into your head. Moving into the peripheral vision as the muscles of the eyes relax. Maybe here there's a possibility of a more expansive receptivity. Notice how that is to experience. Tuning more softly to the shapes and colours in your space right now. And how was it to attune to sight in these different ways? What are you noticing waking up in your body in this moment? And to invite you to come and share in the chat anything that you're noticing in those experiences, playing with vision in that way. Coming and adding your voice in here. And then bringing your attention back to the environment that you're in right now. And just feeling how, whether we're really aware of it or not, we're surrounded by objects. Objects that have come from nature. So inviting you to take a look around the space that you're in. Is there a space that has come from the trees, for example? Furniture, paper, pencil, and books. Whatever it might be, just gently looking around the space that you're in, allowing your vision to be soft rather than seeking, receptive and open to what's coming towards you. And then noticing also the things that you can see that have come from the mineral world, from the metals, the stones, the crystals. And anything that you can see that remains in its natural form, rather than having been made. Plants, rocks, shells, a glass of water, perhaps. Just tuning in to what you can see in your immediate environment. And then feeling what is calling your attention the most. Let's capture the kind of curiosity. Place where your vision has settled. And just trusting that. Come and name or describe the object in your space that has enticed your vision in this way. Coming and naming or describing that object in the chat. Gently coming back to yourself. And perhaps with this object, notice if you're called to come in closer, to look closer, to move towards the object. Or perhaps it feels better to gaze from a distance, allowing what is true for you to emerge. And this object that has captured and enticed your vision in this way that you're in connection with now, what is the mood or atmosphere of this object or objects? And just trusting what comes through you in this moment about the mood or atmosphere. Not something that has to be worked out or understood. And as we open our vision, see beyond the mundane of our everyday environments, and we intentionally make contact with the natural world and the sacred, in an act of reverence or beholding, can we bring alive these objects in our environments? These objects that we form relationships with, similar to the way that we do out in the natural world. Considering as you look upon this object, is it perhaps looking upon you also? What is it like to truly behold this object, to revere this thing in your environment? Just notice if your perception or how you're experiencing it through your eyes has changed or is changing. What are you perceiving as you receive the embodied aliveness of this object? And again, coming and sharing in the chat anything that's emerging through the receptivity of this embodied aliveness. And coming back to yourself. How is it to allow your attention to drift through your space, whilst also staying close to yourself, listening to your own experience? Is your gaze still soft enough to be aware of the other textures and shapes in the space around you? Gently playing with that, an experiment. And then coming back to this object. For some reason, this was the thing that captured your attention initially. And reconnecting with this object. That you're sharing a gaze with. And considering if it had a voice and it could speak. What might it want to communicate with you? Allowing this communication to emerge and coming again to share in the chat. This beautiful object, once a raw, organic part of nature, if it had a voice and could speak, what does it want to say to you? And then very gently returning to your own space. Letting the object go from your gaze. And if you're in physical contact with it, perhaps stay in physical contact. Turning your gaze inwards now. And notice how it feels to let it go, any bonds or attachments that have been created. Go softly and gently with yourself, allowing your vision to soften inwards. And to return back into your center. And as you come back into yourself, I want to invite you to find a warm place to rest in your space now. Appreciating the power of your sight and noticing how you're experiencing yourself, having attuned so intentionally to the power of sight. And right now, there's nothing more to do than simply rest back and receive this co-created weave of our awakened sight in the form of this poem. Making sure you are somewhere comfortable in your space. When soft, more layers. Accepting where I am in each present moment. When soft, more layers. From the periphery, I sense more than see visually. No art here anymore. Letting my hands doodle childlike, and now stopped and just listening. When soft, more layers. A soft light kissing the lips of my eyes, each present moment. Accepting where I am in each present moment. Noticing the details of my hands and surroundings. Feeling presence and noticing beauty. I am surrounded by iterations of earth, pine cones, Pine cones, rocks line the windows. The long locks of the willow outside my window. Twisted branch. A twisted branch. I am surrounded by iterations of earth. Pine cones. Rocks line the windows. Twisted branch. Amethyst crystal. Leafing buckeye tree. My crystal beads. Pine cones. A twisted branch. Rolling tree branches in wind. What is missing? What is missing? Red buds of maples waiting the right moment. Raindrops falling across the window, the soft wool of the blanket wrapped around me. Nuthatches seeking gifts up the trunks of pines. Rolling tree branches in wind, my crystal beads. Amethyst crystal, a twisted branch. My beautiful indoor plants with roots contained that flourish and bloom and share my space. Raindrops falling across the window. Many branches in harmony. Beautiful hand-woven baskets with grounding crystals, rich red smoky stones and shells. My beautiful indoor plants with roots contained that flourish and bloom and share my space. Heavy, ancient, vibrant violet arranged in many directions. Letting down, letting go. Letting down, letting go. Raindrops falling across the window, the soft wool of the blanket wrapped around me. It holds secret language. It holds sacred language. Trees in the foreground and receding into the distance. Open your inner sight and connect to the ancient ones within you. Heavy, ancient, vibrant violet arranged in many directions. Letting down, letting go. It holds sacred language. Beautiful hand-woven baskets with grounding crystals, rich red smoky stones and shells, many branches in harmony, organic intelligence in love with light, limbs dancing with the light breeze. There is a place for all of us. Organic intelligence in love with light. There is a place for all of us. I am of the same root of being. Invitation. A layered world, honor all that you are. Invitation. When I see the trees, I see myself as tree. When I see the trees, I see myself as tree. A little dance about, not grand, but sweet. A woven, connected world. A woven, connected world, a layered world. I am the same root of being. A woven, connected world. There is a place for all of us. There is a place for all of us. I am just another tree. All our toes entangled beneath the soil surface. There is beauty in everything. Muddled conversation. Muddled conversations, your wildness, your strength and your vulnerability. Everything is of the earth. Everything is of the earth. Trust that the life that animates you is taking care of you with each breath, with each beat of your heart. I am just another tree. All our toes entangled beneath the soil surface. A little dance about, not grand but sweet. Everything is of the earth. Beauty shines through. we share space. We share space. Springtime, with nests being built in the forest around me. Kites, vultures, bluebirds and blue jays, hawks, hummingbirds, and so many others loving and caring for the forest we share. Let me wrap my arms around you. Lichen locked bark, adding singing and sighing to the whole tree's songs. Let me wrap my arms around you. A connection to my ancestors. I am. I am. Let me wrap my arms around you. We share space. We share space. Find wholeness within yourself. Thank you for seeing the wholeness of us. You are the ones you've been waiting for. Thank you for seeing the wholeness of us. Ancient women, wisdom invested in life. I am. Let me wrap my arms around you. Lichen locked bark, adding singing and sighing to the whole tree's songs. You are part of the warp and weft of life. Speaking of letting go. Speaking of letting go, you are the ones you've been waiting for. I am. I am. Come among us. We hear you, even in your silence. Focus on the wonder and the beauty in everything. Let go of the past and the pain and the fear. We are not separate. We are not separate. Speaking of letting go, a remembering tree in the garden for me, a remembering tree in the garden for me, finding the beauty in me allows me to see the beauty in all beings. Thank you for bringing me to your home. Someday I would like to return to the forest floor. Thank you for bringing me to your home. Someday I would like to return to the forest floor, full gratitude for trees that welcome me without the need to do so. A remembering tree in the garden for me. A connection to my ancestors. Let me wrap my arms around you. We share space. Beauty shines through. We share space. Everything is of the earth. There is beauty in everything. Your wildness, your strength, and your vulnerability. I am just another tree, all our toes entangled beneath the soil surface. I am just another tree, all our toes entangled beneath the soil surface. Muddled conversations, a woven, connected world. Honor all that you are, a layered world, a layered world. When I see the trees, I see myself as tree. Raindrops falling across the window, nuthatches seeking gifts up the trunks of pines. My beautiful indoor plants with roots contained that flourish and bloom and share my space. What is missing? What is missing? Leafing buckeye tree, twisted branch. Rocks line the windows, the long locks of the willow outside my window. Pine cones, amethyst crystals. I am surrounded by iterations of earth. A soft light kissing the lips of my eyes. From the periphery, I sense more than see visually. When soft, more layers. Rocks line the windows, the long locks of the willow outside my window, the soft wool of the blanket wrapped around me. Organic intelligence in love with light. Limbs dancing with the light breeze. It holds sacred language. It holds sacred language. I am the same root of being. I am. I am a layered world. I am a woven, connected world. I am just another tree, all our toes entangled beneath the soil surface. We share space. We share space, a connection to my ancestors. Springtime, with nests being built in the forest around me, kites, vultures, bluebirds, blue jays, and hawks, hummingbirds, and so many other loving and caring for the forest we share. Beauty shines through. Thank you for seeing the wholeness of us. You are part of the warp and weft of life. Ancient women, wisdom invested in life. Focus on the wonder and the beauty in everything. Let go of the past and the pain and the fear. A remembering tree. Welcome me. Forest floor. Everything. Muddled. Beauty. Wildness. Sacred. Organic. Intelligence. Heavy. Ancient. Harmony. Beautiful nuthatches, raindrops, leafing buckeye tree, my crystal beads flourish and bloom. Share my space. Share my space. Pine cones, twisted branch, rocks, earth. Feeling presence. Soft light kissing the lips of my eyes. I sense more than see. Pine cones, soft wool, blanket, indoor plants, grounding crystals, sacred language, trees in the foreground and receding into the distance. Open your inner sight and connect to the ancient ones within you. There is a place for all of us. I am of the same root of being, a layered world. Honor all that you are. I am just another tree. There is beauty in everything. We share space. We share space. I am. Find wholeness, wisdom, warmth and worth, wonder and the beauty. We are not separate. Beauty, gratitude. Come among us, we hear you even in your silence. Come among us, we hear you even in your silence. Thank you. Ancient women, wisdom. Let me wrap my arms around you. A connection to my ancestors. Everything is of the earth. Beauty shines through. A layered world. A layered world. Muddled conversations. A woven connected world. Many branches in harmony. It holds sacred language, like crystal beads, pine cones, rocks. When soft, more layers. Each present moment, earth, earth, beauty, harmony, sacred, inner sight, in love with light. Breeze, I am. A little dance, beauty. Each beat of your heart, beauty. Loving and caring, like an locked bark. Wonder, someday I would like to return to the forest floor. Full gratitude, gratitude, beauty in everything, in all beings. Just reflecting on how it was to hear your words amongst others' words in the receiving of the poem. Particularly how it was to share and to listen to the often private experiences of what we see and what we notice, and to bring it into the shared space. Feeling how it was to receive the poem as a whole. And as you're just feeling your way into what that experience was like, just gently inviting your body to awaken, to return back into this current time and space. Maybe taking a yawn or a stretch. Looking around your space again now, noticing the support of the ground. Maybe if you had your eyes closed in receiving the poem, noticing what it's like to engage with sight again. And just really how you're experiencing yourself now. And I'd love to invite you to come and to share again in the chat just anything that you're noticing in your experience, anything that feels like it would be helpful to be spoken, to just integrate the experience as we return back into the circle, this full moon gathering. And just a chance to feel our togetherness. to consolidate anything that you would like to share about that experience, or where you find yourself in this moment as we come towards the close of the call. Julia, thank you so much. Thank you, Julia, for being here. Caroline, cherish the beautiful poetry of the interweaving of our thoughts, of our hearts and experiences of our senses. Judith, awaken to a sense of play through the poem. It's a lovely thing to awaken to. I think that's a lovely we do contact play, don't we, through the senses, so that's beautiful. Bethany, I feel deeply covered in layers of loving warmth, the veils of suffering giving way to connection in deep harmony with the sacred beauty of all my earthling king. Thank you for all showing up with such beauty and openness. Thank you, Bethany. Rebecca, astonished by the beautiful wisdom that came through me. Yeah, always, every time. There's so much to be spoken. Lisa, feeling rested. Wonderful. Simone, today I needed to be silent, but all your words embraced me and I felt connected and part again. Perfect. Thank you for honoring what you needed today and feeling in connection with us all in a way that felt good. Rested in beauty. Thank you, Lisa. I think that's the end of your sentence. Judy, rooted and rested within. Mary, an amazing heart full of gratitude to be present with those from around the world who have lit a light of love and commitment to our beautiful earth and each other. I bow to you. Thank you, Mary. Handia, the sight of others expands my own. I love that observation. Yeah, really. Joanne, feeling nourished by so many beautiful words and images. Margie, feeling in harmony. Rebecca, my first experience with True Sisters, tears of gratitude. Oh, welcome. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here and diving in. And I'm so glad that you've had a rich first experience with True Sisters. Ruth, wrapped in beautiful connective words. Wonderful. Oh, it's so good to hear all of your experiences and to know everybody is still there. I'm feeling rooted and rested and connected. And I'd really like to invite you over this next month to spend some time really intentionally engaging with the sense of sight, and we will be taking a journey through more of the senses, but to spend some time particularly with these everyday objects, close in our environment, in our indoor environment or outdoors. We're just spending some time to looking, allowing something to be received into the eyes. Thank you, Bethany. And to just, to really feel what it's like to try and see in different ways. Would be really lovely to hear about. Come and share in the on the Facebook page. I'd love to hear what it feels like to be really with sight over the next month. So thank you all for being here today, for engaging so fully and wholeheartedly, and creating such a rich prayer. And thanks to Melanie for their support today, for holding things steadily behind the scenes, and just being that great steady rock that they are. And just wishing you many blessings for this moon, and may all the magic surrounding you be illuminated by its light. I think I might even be able to see it shortly, which is always a treat. And next month in May, we'll continue this series of gatherings, and we will be exploring sound and the sense of hearing. So I really look forward to being here again then, and I hope you're able to join. And yeah, look forward to gathering next month as we deepen into the sensory body. Thank you so much for being with us today, and yeah, full moon blessings to all of us. Thank you so much, everyone.